Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba ki Jai. Hmm? Acha. There's no earthquake in Bangalore, if you're wondering. Don't listen today as if you have a problem to solve. Yes? Don't listen as if you have a problem to solve and some resolution is going to come because you hear these words. Also, don't listen to try and understand. Something naturally will go to the intellect and it may remain there, it's fine. And not to push against it, but there is no effort to grasp at it. You see? Don't force yourself to try and understand what is being spoken. Just in a more relaxed way. Because all that effort may be useful in traditional classrooms. Here it will only get in the way. And in your effort, many times, you may make a shape, you see, in your head, which could be quite different from what I'm trying to convey. In fact, any shape would be quite different from what I'm trying to convey. So satsang is like a car wash almost. So just allow the car to be washed. I'm not saying zone out or bliss out or something. Not that you can do that, but I'm just saying that whatever, if you feel like you can pay some attention, pay attention, but don't force any sort of understanding or grasping at these words. They will do the job themselves. You can allow them to do. The best thing to do, often I say, is to get out of the way. The one that can do or can understand, that one can get out of the way. So just for a moment, there is no problem with anything. Nothing is missing anywhere. Nothing is too little or too much. And we have lost, for the moment, the ability to judge anything to be problematic. Nothing to resolve at all, including the problem of trying to understand, is not there. The primordial vibration of your being is naturally present here. There's nothing you can do about it either way. You cannot make it more, you cannot make it less, you cannot make it better, you cannot make it worse. All these things don't apply to your pure consciousness being, which is just naturally present here. You don't have to try and stay like this, hold on to it, or let go of it. Nothing. Yes? And this, just very natural sense, I exist, I am, you are naturally aware of it. You don't have to do anything with your attention. You don't have to do anything with any thought. You're just aware that you exist. This awareness that is aware of your existence is your reality, is another name for you. And it's naturally the self that we are looking for in self realization is just this. And if you don't bring any nails for which this has to be the hammer, then there's no problem at all. You know what I mean? It's like we're expecting this to do something for us or to solve something or resolve something for me. But did you notice that in the entire conversation so far, we didn't encounter such a me? We saw that there is just a natural existence and very, very natural awareness of that existence. At which stage did we encounter a me? Not in reality. Even if we call that which we perceive to be reality for a moment, is it? Even then, in the perceptual realm, we never found a me. So, just like you would not attempt to give pizza to your shadow, is it? Like you would not attempt to give pizza to your. Oh, somebody has tried this. Feed some food to the shadow because you recognize that it doesn't really exist. It only seems as if it does. Is it? So, in the same way, you are realizing that there is no such ego or person as a tangible reality. It is only the play of thoughts which seem to create the notion of a shadow character. You see? So the thoughts, which is the shape, and the character that is created is the imagined character. Like as children, we may have played and given the shadow a name. In the same way, we seem to have taken that non existent shadow character to be a tangible entity called me, whatever name and form we may have attached to that me. And now we're trying to fix it, make it go away. See? But once you see that it has no reality, you see, its presence, apparent presence or absence, makes no difference. You see. So trying to get rid of this me, you see, is the shadow's own attempt to get rid of the shadow. You see. It's just the way we can interpret the play of the shadow can be that way, but it has no use in reality. So, what is the, if you came, if this was a hospital and this was a doctor's room, and you said, I have this problem, I take this character, you see, to be my reality, and now I want to be rid of it, what should the doctor say to the patient? Is it? Yeah. Is there a shadow somewhere? Yeah. So, we take the shadow to be this shadow, I take that to be me. How can I get rid of it? Hmm? Hmm? But I see it, it's real. You see? But you're right. You find the reality and the notion of yourself being the shadow then dissolves. You see? So, so how to find this reality? You see? How to find this reality is the essence of being free from the notion that I am the shadow entity, isn't it? So, and the path, so-called path, which is really the pathless path, has been emphasized from here over and over again, and from all the masters who are sharing this, pointings to this reality has been shared, isn't it? You see? And primarily, you see, what is important is to understand the wrong way to find reality. The wrong way is to try and find it objectively, as if it is a thing, because you make yourself to be a thing in that. So if you take yourself to be a shadow and you're looking for a bigger shadow to resolve the notion of shadowiness, that is not going to do it. So don't look for a thing. And a thing is anything that can be perceived. Yes? So what is a non-thing that you have come across? What is not a thing? You know what I mean by not a thing? Not perceivable, not does not have attributes, quality, shape, size, length, breadth, height, duration. No? These the perceiver itself is the uh, recognition of that which witnesses all perception, but itself cannot be perceived. No? And it sounds like a very fancy concept, but trust me, it takes much more effort to understand it conceptually than to just meet it for yourself. You see? So that's the second tip. Don't understand it conceptually. You see? Don't make any shape of the notion of the unperceivable perceiver, because you can't do it. You see? Your mind will offer you some visuals, then you will take that to be your reality. But whatever the visual is, it is not you. It is still perceived. Whether it is full of light or full of darkness, doesn't matter. Both are still perceived. So this is all the insight we need actually. Hmm? How many still feel like you're taking a visual to be your reality? Okay, let me expand. If you had a spiritual experience and you take what you saw in that experience to be your reality, raise your hand. What you saw in that experience, if you take that to be your reality, raise your hand. Okay, I saw one hand and now he's under peer pressure. No? Good, good, good. Okay, who else? Second screen. Okay, I see some hands. Thank you for your honesty. Um, but simply don't do that. I have no better guidance. Just stop it. It's not you. Forget about it. If you saw it, it cannot be you. No matter how magnificent or how empty the visual looked, it was still a painting. You see? Still a painting of perception. You see? So, what to do in this situation is just to ask yourself, who is aware of the perception of that? Who's aware of the perception of that? Now, the same ones that raise their hands, do you feel that that which is aware of the perception of that has that particular attribute or quality of either lightness or darkness? No. How many are fully lost to what I'm saying? Kind of, sorta. Okay, one kind of, sorta. Fully lost. Okay, my dear. We'll recap a bit. Some. Okay, thank you. That helps me. That helps me. Okay, so let me see if I can simplify, because this is the main point. This is really the main point. You see, and this has the potential to take all the struggle out of the spiritual path. You see? And maybe that is the problem also sometimes, that because it is ungraspable mentally, it can feel like, but I'm really not getting it. So what you have to do is, I will give you all the ability to unmute yourselves, but promise me that you will stick to what I am asking, okay? And talk about that for a moment. But if you get stuck at some point of what I'm saying, just stop me there, unmute yourself, stop me there, and I want to look at this really with you. So, the part about every perception coming and going is clear. Everything that you perceive, it comes and goes, isn't it? Yes. Okay. And if there is a fundamental basis to Vedanta, if there is a fundamental basis to Vedanta, then it is that anything that comes and goes cannot be reality, at least not the reality that we are looking for. Yes, that much is clear. Therefore, okay, let me mute everyone again. Sorry, this is not working, the experiment. Just raise your hand if you want to stop me. So, so we recognize from the pointings of the sages for centuries, they have pointed and said that every perception, it comes and goes, and anything that comes and goes is not the ultimate reality. This much I feel like everyone who's here is clear about. Now, what is the attempt, if there is such a thing? It is to see if there is something, thing I use provisionally, something which is not perceived and yet recognized. Yes, because that would be the discovery. No? Like every perception comes and goes. So, what is that unperceivable recognition? And is there such a thing that I have come across? You see? So, the parameters of this experiment are clear, no? At least, not whether the recognition has happened or not. At least the parameters seem fairly straightforward. Good. Okay. Okay. Now, so sometimes I ask you this question, isn't it? I say, are you aware now? You see? How many, is there someone who feels they're not aware now? I'll talk to them later. No, after class. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You see? So, so you're aware of the perception of this voice. That is undeniable, isn't it? But that which is aware is not hearing, it is not sight, it is not taste, it is not touch, nor is it smell. You see, all of these you can be aware of, but awareness is not just sight or hearing or taste or touch or smell or imagination or memory or thought or emotion. None of these attributes, they apply to this awareness, isn't it? Yes? Very good, very good. Now, you are able to confirm this because of your recognition of awareness. although you don't see it, you don't perceive it. The only absurdity there is because we are conditioned to the notion of seeing is believing. You see, so we feel like we must have a perceptual darshan of it, or image of it in some way, and only then can I confirm its reality. But the Vedantic way is the exact opposite of that. You come to a recognition, an undeniable recognition of that which is unperceivable. Don't get confused with the words. We're still keeping it very basic. It's not perceivable because every perception comes and goes, therefore cannot be reality. And the whole point of self-realization is to come to that in a very direct way, isn't it? Now, most spiritual seekers in the world are trying to have a perception of this reality, which you cannot do. And all our struggle, in a way, has been about trying to come to that perception. But we cannot do it. And in fact, it violates the fundamental principle of Vedanta. You see? That if it is perceivable, it comes and goes. And therefore, it is not reality. You see? Now, when I said awareness, you see, is aware of perception, but itself is neither sight, nor hearing, nor touch, nor taste, nor smell. All of you are able to confirm that. You see, is it being confirmed just because you've heard it somewhere? You have conceptual knowledge about it? No, it's because you can check right now. You see, but you cannot find perceptually what you're checking, and yet you can confirm. You see, so there, where you can confirm that you are aware now, it's not really a spatial place, but we have to use some words. You see, so there or that is what is your intuitive insight. You are aware now. You don't have to confirm this with your head. You cannot confirm this with your senses, and yet you can confirm this. You see, so this is unique in the human condition discovery, because you're not using the traditional tools of knowledge, and yet you can confirm something. You see, at least the non-thinginess of that something. Yes, with me? Sure, no? Stop me if there's something. You see? Because the mind will try its best to confuse it or make it sound like a discourse or an abstraction, where it's not. I'm trying to speak very, very directly. You see? So the basis of this confirmation is completely non-traditional, in the sense that we relied on sight, we relied on perception, and we relied on thought to confirm or deny something. Here we are confirming something which is independent of these means. Now, the beauty of this intuitive insight is that self-recognition is fully apparent there. That is the most important. You see? But also, anything, it is that intelligence which runs this entire universe. It is that intelligence in the light of which this whole manifest play is happening. So anytime the mind has you caught up, gives you a problem which you think you cannot resolve, you see, just find your refuge in that place where it is clear to you that you are aware. In fact, it is clear to you there that you are awareness itself in your primary nature, and the manifest aspect of this awareness, this conscious play, is just an aspect of you. You see? It appears within you and it dissolves within you. You see, but not in the way our mind thinks of appearance and dissolving. So now, if you did not need anything from this discovery or impose any sort of demand upon it from the shadow character, saying, now that I see the light, my shadow should have a halo, no? Or anything. The shadow should have a nice life. The shadow should live in bliss. If you did not impose any shadowy demands, you see, on this pure discovery, then there is no trouble. It is not something that you got. You saw that it is always like this. So therefore, it's not something that you can lose. You see? But if you impose judgments, interpretations, demands, desires on this very straightforward, simple discovery, you see, then it will seem like the shadow gets prominence again. You see, and this simple, unperceivable light seems to get lost again.
Father, the scope of the awareness still
Scope
feels.
means,
Uh, I'm clear about that I am aware of what is I'm hearing and but I am not hearing. I'm aware of hearing, seeing,
yeah,
but still it is feels like limited to what this body, this perception is showing to me. I'm that aware. I'm clear about that place where
yeah,
I'm aware.
yeah.
Which is, feels like I'm only aware of what is this body's
Acha.
perceptions are showing.
And when you close your eyes, what can you see?
When I close my eyes, perceptually I see darkness,
Ah.
visual
And I
perception.
say, don't imagine a tree,
Then I see a tree.
then you see a tree. Then which body is seeing that? Which eyes are seeing that? You see? So ask yourself, where is this awareness? What is its relationship with the body? You see? Then this idea of uh, body centrality, because our visual perception seems to be centered in this way. You see, it creates a perspective, just like these games, no, on these kids are playing these games where you can, it seems like you're inside the head of a character and you can look from there. You see, so it creates the feeling that I am contained in that body, because the centrality of visual perspective seems to be that. You see, but you could see anything at this point. You see, you could see the same, what you could call imagination is the same projective light of consciousness itself. You see? So so that, but I think a more direct pointing would be to find out where this awareness is. Where are you looking at this play from? So you say, oh, I can hear the sounds from the street because my attention can go there. How does your attention go there if you are not there? What is the medium in which attention travels? Ah, some hands are up. Good, good, good. Okay. First one, Zainab. Zainab, can you come?
Namaste, Ananta-ji.
Namaste, my dear. Namaste.
When we are looking together,
Yes.
or when I'm inquiring on my own, awareness is always aware of itself. It is
Yes, but are you saying this conceptually or you see this?
no, I experience it.
You experience it. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
And the medium is the consciousness, everything arises.
Yeah.
And knowingness is knowingness and existence, beingness, it's all same. But
Ah,
there's something happens that
Let's pause for a moment, my dear. Let's so
Okay.
that we can make sure we are on the same page. Now, when we speak of awareness, you see, is there a notion about it being aware of itself? Like, is there a itself there?
It is everywhere. It's talking as Anantaji, it's talking as Zeynep here, and it's also beyond. It's always aware of everything.
Okay. Now, this idea, just forget it.
Yes.
Okay, that it is everything or nothing. Just forget about it. Now, what remains?
It's same, everything, same, nothing. It's what do you mean? What remains? Whatever remains is the awareness itself again.
Okay. Now, forget about this idea.
Okay.
Now,
And I don't know if I am not, I don't know anything.
are you going to get angry with me if I say forget about this idea?
No, I want to look with at you and see what is going on here.
Yes, yes. So now, even I don't know anything. Leave that.
I'm still here.
Huh?
I am still here.
Still here. It's very good actually, but leave that also. That's it. You see? That is resting in true insight. Of course, from here, you see, which could have been your starting point as well, which I'm not denying. Then some words may be needed for this conversation or communication. You see,
Mhm.
but I just want to make sure that no conceptual shape is being relied upon.
I'm not saying I'm living every moment like this, but when I'm inquiring with you, especially, or sometimes even when I'm on my own, now I'm presenting myself as a separate entity.
It's okay.
This is also happening. This is mostly happening. I take myself to be a separate entity mostly.
Okay. So in that moment, what is different than this moment in reality?
Nothing. No, it's always same. Nothing different. Just as the consciousness, then I believe myself to be a separate one body.
Yes,
If
yes,
I don't believe, it's all same.
yes, yes, yes. So, just to clarify, because sometimes when I don't clarify, there can be some confusion about it. What I'm saying is that everyone is having moments of pure insight. You see? What can happen is that our mind comes up with a proposal and it says, this is what you're seeing. Everybody is one, same, you see? Or, or, you see? And it can start off as a proposal just to communicate, and that is completely fine. But soon it becomes as if that proposition contains the insight which I have. You see? So when I say keep that also aside, I don't want even that, even fantastic, sublime, holy sounding shape to be caught. You see, be held on to. You see, so it becomes a pure openness, a naked intelligence. You see, fully naked, like that. And then somebody if prods you and says, okay, now you tell me something is going on with you, what is happening, you see. And sometimes no words will come, sometimes some words may come like, oh, I just see how everything is naturally the same, it's all one. And that's fine, you see. But not the other way around, where we have a pure insight and then we apply the same principles that we did in life before this, and we said, okay, this is what I saw, this is what I understood, and soon that becomes primary and the insight becomes secondary, you see. So I don't want any of you to fall into that trap where a beautiful sounding insight can also be very oppressive, you see, because
Yes,
it can
because the
come.
yeah,
Yeah, because it
the
can say
mind
you.
fixes on. Yes, I see it as Zainab. It takes it.
It can take it like that. It can also tell you that that is how you're supposed to stay.
This is not possible.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Because it is only this conceptual understanding that we can insert into our narrative, and therefore making it into something that we have to stay with, or something that we have to remain as, or some any whatever idea. And that we then becomes the Zen up, like you said. You see? And becomes the, but when we leave it naked, you see, uninterpreted, then how you put it in the story?
Not possible.
Not possible. So I want to leave you in that, you see, open and empty state where if someone says, so what did you discover? You see? And it's open. From that openness, some words can come. I discovered my ultimate reality. You see? Or blah, blah, blah. Blee, blee. It makes no difference. You see? Because what is important is not the words of communication, but you not taking yourself to be the central character of your narrative, and only possible to insert concepts into the narrative, the stories into the narrative, and even our interpretation of our discoveries into the narrative. Never possible to insert reality into the narrative.
Still, I want to ask something.
Yes, yes.
I experience like even in the satsang or when I'm inquiring, the first thing I said, I think the same thing. I feel like I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know what is me. I don't know if something is happening, not happening.
Yeah,
And then some, is it okay? It arises like that because
yeah.
sometimes it brings fear or something.
Yes. It's very good actually. In fact, I prefer I don't know. You see, as long as we also include the I that doesn't know.
Yes, this is also,
In the I
who
don't
is this? I don't know also.
know. Who doesn't know? Also, we don't know.
No
Yeah,
idea.
that is very good.
And satsang words also sometimes come like this. I don't know what is awareness. I don't know if something is happening. I don't know. It's okay then. Just
Yes.
okay.
As long as we are not, remember, the rule is the same. As long as this I don't know becomes the new part of our narrative, because the mind is always grasping to be able to put something in the story. You see, I don't know means I don't know what to put in my story anymore. I can't find anything to put in my story. But the mind, because it is sneaky, will try to use that itself in the story.
It did for some time and it's still sometimes doing.
Yes. So to notice that is enough. To notice that is more than enough. You see.
Thank you very much.
So good. So happy to hear this report. So happy.
So happy to be with you here and thank you very much, Anantaji.
So welcome. My dear. So good. Okay, lots of hands. I see Prabha, then Edward Das, then some more.
Hello.
Hello, my dear.
You understand? So
Yes, I hear you well. Yes.
then I keep the mic
Yes, please. Thank
because I was not clear what is better.
you. This is good. This is very good.
Okay. So I'm very, very thankful again for just for meeting you. And I like to report um, because I made a discovery when we talked last time, 2 weeks ago or so. Uh, so I don't hear you, but
I'm not saying anything, my dear. I'm just listening.
okay. Yeah, because beside of what we are talking, afterwards I noticed, because I was so excited, heart was beating, all kind of stuff. We were talking about this and my problems with skin and so. And afterwards, I noticed the biggest discovery was that actually I was so afraid to meet you. And the biggest discovery was that there was nobody to be
Yeah.
afraid of, and there was nothing to be afraid of. And there was just this open, relaxed space, and is no need to be afraid or to be excited like hell, and to, because
Yeah.
there is really nobody
Yes.
who,
Very
who
good.
can threaten me or so.
Yes. 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 That is very.
And and for me, this is a great, great gift, because when I met Osho
Yeah.
35 years ago or so,
Uh-huh.
I had a front seat once and
Acha.
was sitting in front. And he looked at me in the beginning, and
Yeah.
I met him first. He looked at me and I felt everything is okay, actually, but I did not believe. I was convinced I missed the meeting with him because I
Hmm.
was convinced that I'm a bunch of shit,
Oh, yeah.
and there must have been something, some emotion should has to happen or something, and nothing happened, and everything was okay. And I thought, so I missed the meeting with him because this cannot be. And now, after 35 years, I discovered that it's true. It's okay, and there is nothing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But I needed all these years. This is crazy if you look back. So for me, this was a very, very big gift
Ah,
to
yes.
to discover with you.
So happy. I'm very happy to hear this report. Very good. Very, very
But
good.
what I also like to ask, it was so strange. Some months ago, when I met uh, um, Moji in the Zoom, he came
Yeah.
in the Zoom room, and I was totally overwhelmed. I was totally emotional and overwhelmed. And 2 years ago, I met him physically. The same thing, totally overwhelmed. But now with you, and that's why I was also so afraid to make a fool out of myself. I did not know what happened to meet you. But now this discovery could happen. I don't know. This, yeah,
Sweet. All happens by His grace. I'm so happy that to hear your report, and it's all my Master's grace, my dear. All His grace.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just nothing meeting nothing. No,
Not even that. Even
not
that is
even
too
that.
much.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it just becomes that it is just nothing meeting nothing, it's very beautiful, of course. But I feel like that is also not a true representation. You see? It is
It's
everything meeting everything and nothing meeting nothing and none of those two also. And both.
yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very, thank you. So happy, man. Very good. Very good. Very good.
So happy.
Thank you. Thank you, my love. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
too.
Okay, we go to the next one. Edward Das, come right.
Hello, Ananta-ji. Can you hear me?
Not so much, my dear.
Better now?
Yes, closer is better. Yes, yes.
My kind of question was, I was just wondering if it's the same or is it very far away for me to say that when you said like to be aware of this awareness, I
Yeah,
felt to say that I'm just aware of everything,
yeah.
rather. Um, I don't know if that's very
It's fine.
different
It's completely fine. You see, it's completely fine. In
because I
fact,
felt like
there is a
after,
misconception which is popular in some satsang these days, where there's this idea that when we come to the recognition, then there is some change in the state of awareness or something, and awareness becomes more aware of itself or something like that. But that is not the case, you see, because if awareness had states, then it would also be the changeful. You see, so it is not that awareness is changing and now it is more aware of itself. It is only that it's still part of the manifest play, where in the manifest play we have been relying on the mind and our perceptions for knowledge, but we realize that there is a different source of true knowledge, which is our intuitive insight, where in the intuitive insight it is always apparent that my true nature is awareness itself. You see, so it can feel like, because this intuitive insight doesn't have a shape in that way, so it can feel like it is awareness itself which is becoming more aware of itself. You see, so but awareness is unchanged through this entire play of identification and dissolution of the identification. It is awareness which has remained unchanged and untouched through all of this. You see, so when you say that I can simply see that I am aware of everything, that is actually very good, because you are confirming your awareness. You see, and you are confirming that awareness is aware all all the perceptions that arise. I'm
okay,
just going to
yeah,
mute
thank you
everyone
because I was a
again.
little bit trying
Oh,
to then grasp it and maybe felt like
one
something
second,
was missing.
Madhav. I'll just mute everyone and then I'll add you to unmute.
Yeah,
Okay, my dear. Yes, yes, yes.
it's
So
much
just like
better.
if you remember, sometimes I say that there can be this idea that I am aware of perception only because there is perception. You see? But when we say I'm sitting on a couch, we are aware of what sitting is and what couch is. You see? In the same way, when we say aware of perception, we are aware of both sides.
Yes, yes. That's why I was checking also this because we talked about this in the past, and I was thinking, am I going here or it's something else? Because I don't want to be in this just to say, yeah, because I'm perceiving, but that's what I call awareness. But it's much more because even well, different states during sleep and I believe when we die, well, this will not change, or at least
Yes, yes,
in some way it will stay.
yes, yes,
And it's yeah.
yes,
Uh, Also, just to say, um, yeah, recently something was also feeling, which it's interesting. Yeah, to, should I take it seriously or just take it as some perception, or maybe both? But like maybe I should be more again some deepening, something feels like okay, maybe there is deepening, and then some words would come up. Maybe no, it just has to happen by itself if there is something, but also
yes,
well, and deepening would it would be in my sense to be that to see that there are more things which are unreal, which
yes,
feels real in
exactly,
the life.
exactly.
You know?
That's very good. So what you can say is, Suppose there is a container,
Mhm.
okay, and the container is full of rock. It's full to the brim of rocks. You see? Now, when the rocks are being thrown out of the container, it can feel like the container is deepening because there is more space from the rocks. But the container has always been the container. But it can feel like there is a deepening because the rocks are being thrown away. So you're absolutely right. As you're seeing the unreality of the notions you have carried, you're getting free from those notions. And therefore, it can feel like you have more space now. And that can feel like the deepening.
Yeah. It's just because somehow while I was working and being in this, let's say, um, involved in regular life for a bit, and I got to taste more of this life when, let's say, I was in India or Portugal. I would be a little bit still craving for this, you know, and now just being here and tasting more, then feels like, uh, yeah, it's also um, let's say heavy, you know. It's not so what I imagined to be, you know. It's
Yeah, yeah.
and in that comes somehow the the pull to let go of it. Yeah.
Just don't, like my tip for you for this week, and we'll meet again on Friday or Monday, but is that don't determine the nature of anything for the moment. Yes? Deal?
Deal. Deal.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Nothing of value will be lost if you don't determine what's anything is or what is happening or not happening. Okay? And that might be what, then I can make the claim on your behalf, a great deepening. Okay,
Thank
Mala,
you.
very
Thank you
good.
again.
Very okay. Shivoham, Radha, Natalia, and Kumar. So Shivoham first, then Radha.
Hello, Father.
Hello, Mala.
Uh, Father, I feel that I need to keep exposing stuff that I feel that are uh, blocking somehow. I being or because I still feeling a lot of resistance, and I'm realizing that it's a lot of fear of many things, fear of being judged, fear of losing what I think is valuable. I don't know. I don't know. I feel that the thing that I've been working as an artist.
Yeah.
There is a lot of identity in that. There is a lot of I don't know.
Not
There is a lot
inherently,
of
like if the movement of the body leads to artistic outcomes, doesn't
sorry,
naturally
sorry.
mean that if certain movements of the body leads to artistic outcomes, you see,
Yeah.
doesn't naturally mean that the movement is full of identity. It is if you take yourself to be that who is creating those outcomes. You see, in your limited body mind as that which is creating those outcomes.
Yes, this is what I see. That there is like this. being an artist. I'm an artist, no, and because I was.
It's okay. Say it.
The need to be recognized, no, from you too, or from Guruji, or from anyone, from this need to be seen and to be to be somehow, yeah, to have an import, to have an importance from to know to I
Yeah.
don't know. I see that it's because I don't know, because
Okay.
somehow I can't
So
I can't identify with this anymore,
yeah,
100%.
thank you.
But
Thank you for
at the same time, I can't. I feel that I can't be myself 100%. I know
okay.
that it sounds crazy. It sounds, but
No, it's
it's
fine.
yeah. I needed to say it. I need to say it.
So what is the impression that all of us should have of you, according to that voice, according to that voice? What is the impression we should have?
Well, for example, the time an enlightened
Enlightened
genius or something
artist.
like that, eh? Or something like that.
Enlightened, eccentric genius. Huh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh my God, I don't know, Father.
Very good. Thank you for the courage to share that. It's very good, you know. And but I already consider you more than that, my dear.
Thank
Not, I cannot step down. I cannot step down from.
you.
I know in my heart that you are God itself, you know. And God is the greatest artist I've ever met. So
Oh
as
my
much as
God.
Guruji said at one point, but it's very beautiful what you're sharing. Guruji actually said at one point that sometimes when I look at all of you, he said, it looks like I'm telling you as if, as if I'm telling you something very terrible about yourself. But I'm saying to you that you are God. You see? And you are saying that, but I'm little old me. You see? But think better of this me. See? But I'm saying you're God. No, but you want to take yourself to be little old me. But but you want to be a special little old me. You see? And this is the nature of the human condition. That I am actually saying that we are one being, and I'm not just saying it conceptually because I read it somewhere. I see that is true. You see? And you are God itself. You are
Yeah,
God itself.
I feel like that I'm like tight, like I trying to, no, I can't let it go because if not, I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like that, I know that it's just, I know.
I
How many
know
things I know, eh?
how many
I know everything, eh? My God.
it's good. It's
Oh,
good.
sorry.
No, it's very good. It's very good. Mhm. So, um, what you're trying to say is that you realize that all of emotion can just be the mask, you see, and actually you're also discovering that it is a fear of letting go of this identity. You see, in your case, it is artist. In another case, it could be something else. In another case, it could be something else. And all of us can have these primary identities. And the mind will always tell you that without this, what are you? You see? What do you have? You see, what security is there? Suppose all of this satsang and about the self and God is all hocus pocus nonsense, then what are you left with? You see? So at least hedge your bet somewhere. You see? At least have a backup plan. You see? Have a backup. It tells you, and it's a compelling story. I'm saying it in a light way, but when it comes from the mind, it can be quite compelling. You see? That without this, what if you're not God actually? What if you're actually just this body mind? You see? What if actually you're just this body mind, and without the artist body mind, what are you? Is the body the artist?
No.
So who wants a certificate? Art, great, what is it? Exceptional, enlightened, centric artist certificate. Who should I
I
give it
don't
to?
want it.
I know, I know. But you're just poking at the mind. You're just poking at the
Yeah,
mind
yeah, I know.
so that it.
I see it.
Remember the laughter when it proposes the same oppressive idea again. You see? It's good to laugh at it because once we see it as a laughable notion, then it is not so, you see, oppressive, and when satsang gets over, when the proposal comes on the mind, you remember that we laughed at it. I'm very glad you're able to share all this. And it's helpful for everyone, you see, because everybody has their artist somewhere.
But it's not only about being an artist.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, yeah, this is a lot of ideas.
Enlightened musician, rock star, right? Inventor,
Good partner,
good partner,
good,
good.
good, good. I don't know.
Fill in the blank. Good whatever.
Good, but good whatever. Yes, good good disciple. Disciple. How you say? Disciple, of course. Thank you, Father. I don't know what to say right now, but thank you.
Just whatever shape the mind is proposing to you, whatever shape the mind is proposing, the highest sounding shape, even the shape which I said, you are God itself, even that can be taken as a shape, you see. But whatever shape it is proposing, your acceptance of that shape for yourself is always a step down. It is never a step up,
Yeah.
always a step down from your reality. And you realize that all of these, even enlightened, you see, there's no great thing about being called enlightened. So then people call you enlightened and then tell you how you should behave, what you should do, what not do. It's very good. Very good. All my love, all my blessings to you. Very,
Thank you.
very, very welcome. So, okay, Radha can come. Very good.
Hello, Father.
Oh, my dear, good to see you.
Good to see you too. I don't know what I'm going to say. Just came
The
up.
best. That's the best.
Just wanted to see you, Father.
Very good. Very good. You know that many of us want to inquire about your health and how you're doing today. You look, your body does look more energetic and better today.
Getting better. Wow. Sorry, I don't have anything to say.
Okay, it's good. Just leave it open if something comes up. It's good. We have time.
You say something, Father, or just go. I don't have anything to say.
Did you enjoy that conversation with Shibom about the artist thing? You want to share some
I was
examples?
listening when Shauna came and crying so loud. So I got distracted, but I heard parts of it.
He was saying that the mind proposes to him this kind of idea that father should recognize me, Guruji should recognize me. Do they actually even know how good an artist I am? I'm quite famous, you know. So this kind of the
Mm.
mind can propose these kind of things, and all of you with this kind of special talent at something can the mind can use that, which is a great gift from God itself. You see, as a way to um, catch, you know, in some way. And I know that over the years we've had some conversations about this topic. So, do you want to share something from your insight about this for him and for everyone else?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like over the years, like with all the singing that happened from here, and uh, I think it did creep in somewhere, you know, like little bit. Like you kept saying, like don't pick the singer identity, or I feel like somewhere it crept in very unknowingly, very subtly, in a way that I don't know if I wanted that recognition, like he was saying, like because it was already given in a way. Here it just came like that. So that part it didn't play, but I felt like it played like I said, like before, like the monopoly part, you know, where um
Yeah.
it did poke in different ways. I just the same thing, the same artist identity, but it poked in few different ways, which was very good. Very good, but very sweet that he could just come up. And I feel like that recognition, like I want father's recognition, that I've seen that play in a few of us, like you know, like the enlightenment certificate, which can play, like you know, but father doesn't say that to me, or father doesn't. It's the same thing that plays around with all of us, I guess, in different ways. It's very sweet he could just come up and speak like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Father, like, but like, whatever message I received yesterday, I just, like, as I was listening to it, like, and I just, like, it was also almost like a conscious feeling in my heart, like, I'm just placing it at your feet, you know, like, just placing it at your feet, like, because I don't know, because over the years, I never realized that, you know, it could get in somewhere like that, and it could feel like, you know, some kind of a specialness. And so if I hear anything about it, it's just always at your feet.
Very good. Very. Yes. I'm not so worried about this one in your case now because you had quite nice open heart surgery about it a few months ago.
Yeah. It was very good actually, because until that, like, it was playing, but I didn't realize it was playing in a way, you know, like it was very good.
Very good, Manju. Very good.
Just want to come see you soon, Father. I don't know when I can come, but we'll see.
So no, now with with the body
Yeah,
recovering.
yeah. Can't wait. It's been too
Otherwise, we
long.
send Jugal and Mira to pick you up.
I'm a little nervous coming by myself with all the episodes we had, but
I always call him Jugal. Get
Jagan,
him.
no, not Jugal.
I have another friend called Jugal at work, so and he looks a bit similar. और क्या? He lost you there. No?
I'm here for you. Can't see me?
Ah, now once you speak, it shows up. There are many hands, so I don't see you on the top.
I don't have anything to say. I was feeling a little awkward to come up because I was like, I don't have anything to say. I don't know what I'd say, but I just wanted to see you. So
I'm glad that we're getting some of over some of that awkwardness to come up and just be empty and see what emerges.
like there could be this feeling that there might be some burning questions and I don't want to take others' time and all that.
All these categorizations also more or less we are doing away with. No? Good, good, good.
Thank you.
Thank you much. All my love. Full blessings as always, of course. Very good, my child. Love you, love you. You feel like you can sing now at the end, or you will still want to rest some more? Ah, okay. Okay, I'll ask him in the end. Can't find it. Okay. We have what happened to Natalia.
Hello, dear Ananta. Can you hear
Hello.
me? Can you
Yes,
hear
yes.
me? Yeah. First, I want to say that I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to be in Satsang with you. And I would like to, my English is not very good. I'm very
Okay,
sorry.
take your time and please know that you're completely welcome here and treat it like your own house.
Thank you very much. For several last month, I experienced myself more and more as the consciousness, and I
Yes.
see it very clearly. And after last retreat with Guruji, and then this satsang with you, and very many signs of bliss in my life and in the life of my family. But at the same time, very strong mind attacks, and all these mind attacks are about the same thing, which is
About
here, about the same thing which is
same thing.
here,
Nice.
which was here always, all my life, about the fear of death. And I cannot say that it's fear because I see very clearly, for many, many years, I see very clearly that there is nothing to happen with me as consciousness.
Yeah.
But my head is completely terrible states of mind. I experience terrible states of mind, and all they are about this, about death or something bad will happen. And yesterday, my son, which he lives in another country, and he
Yeah.
was beaten on the street
I see.
by some guys, and very unexpectedly, but gracefully, it was very quickly, and help came very quickly. But
Good.
uh, so many interpretations came to my mind that if such thing happened, then I do something bad, I do something wrong, or my family does something wrong, and why this thing happened, and so on. And I see that all this in the mind, and I had this prayer that forgot that if you want to show something to him, then please do that he see it uh, correctly, that he see
Yeah.
that you show him. And I saw that that this habit to interpret, um, worked with psychologists many years, and this
I,
habit to interpret things about it happens, then maybe you have some aggressive or
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
these things. And I see now that it's nothing.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask you if you could say something about these things.
Very good. I feel like your report is very beautiful. And firstly, of course, all our love, blessings to your son, and may his body recover very quickly. And I'm glad to hear that he got the help very fast. So that is good. May Guruji's grace bless him so that he completely heals. So, but I really want to say that I hear some deep insights in your report, and it's fine. You are a psychologist, and as a psychologist, many times you have to diagnose and say, this is the condition, this is the thing. You see, and there's a space for that in the world, and it's fine in the world. Now you're coming to satsang where we are constantly advised not to make a sort of shape or conceptual shape to whatever is being discovered, and you're seeing that, and sometimes it can feel like there is a struggle with that, because the condition is to try and say this is what this is. You see, this is what this is, this is what this is. And now we are asked to meet life completely open and empty. You see, and it can feel a bit strange because these invitations to make shape keep coming. So but you are noticing that, and that's basically the best that you can do. If you involve more doership with that, and you involve more mental noise with that, saying I have to stop, just like why does this happen, then that is not helpful either. So already you're noticing it, and it is good. So with this fear thing that you mentioned, you see, we can try and look at it like what how big can that fear be? Like last satsang, I said, just invite it right now in satsang and say, okay, how much space can you take? Can you try?
How much what?
How much space can anything
Space.
that arises,
Mhm,
can it take of your being?
mhm.
You see, suppose your being is 100, the space of your being is 100 feet, let's say. Huh? Then anything that comes, you see, how much space in that 100 feet can it take?
And
Cannot,
when I
cannot.
see from this perspective, I see that nothing. But usually it came, but you cannot do anything without with death. Mine speaks like that, and
Yes.
for years, and with headache and so on. I see this. I see this, and
What is
I
the theme of your biggest fear, the most recurring fear? Is it death, you said, or what is it? What is the theme of it?
um I can say that inside me here there is not, but in my head it is. In
Yes, and when it is in the head, it has to have a story. So, what is the story of your most
story
strongest
of
fear?
the story of is of losing some of my family, or um, to have disease.
Ah,
All it is about losing or death.
yes, 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 yes. All fear ultimately is related to the loss of identity, you see, and the family relationships, body, losing any of this are the close elements of the identity. No? So the ego presents these fears, saying you cannot do that, but actually it is all related to what we take ourselves to be. No? So, but you're doing well. I feel like there's nothing unnatural in these fears. These are the natural ones that exist in the human condition, and you've gone beyond what most do in the human condition to spot them and say, ah, this is just the mind proposing that I am a limited entity and I will lose something at the loss of this body or at the loss of any body. These are the proposals, and you are aware of that. So, so you also spotted, like, you had very good points in the short time you spoke. Actually, you also spotted this uh, need to interpret, you see, because of the prior conditioning as psychologists or whatever, they need to interpret so much. But when we really look at it, if we were to dissect it, you see, so leave this uninterpreted. You see? I should change the pose probably. I'm interpreting. I'm telling you to okay, leave this uninterpreted.
And there is nothing just
But
happened.
that's also interpretation. So leave that also. No? Now interpret. Now interpret. Not a karate chop. Is it? So definitely in that interpretation, what is more truthful? The uninterpreted or the interpretation? The uninterpreted. No? And this, whether your mind likes it or not, or you believe it or not at the moment, is fundamentally what I'm saying. Your uninterpreted truth is better than any interpretation that you could have about the world, about yourself, about life, about truth, about love, about existence, about God, about the self. You see? To leave yourself unharassed by these interpretations is to be more truthful. You see? Although your mind will complain that, but I'm not getting any truth. You see? What is the truth in this uninterpreted? Get used to that as the truth. Get used to that as the truth, because that is the highest truth. You see? That is the very unborn. That is the very unborn in which all things are perfectly resolved. And the minute you cover it with a belief, what you think, you see, it just becomes the birth of the mind, the birth of identity, you see, and everything seems to get mixed up. You see?
Yeah.
So just these experiments I offer to you so that, because the mind will keep proposing, saying, you see, but here, this is a nice way to look at this. You see, this is a nice way to look at this. You see? But it's not. But it's not. Even this. With me? With me. Because otherwise we can keep playing that game, and often I call it the game of confusion, confusion, conclusion, conclusion, confusion, confusion. So it is the same conclusions that we draw today that becomes the confusion of tomorrow. You see, and then you draw fresh conclusions and fresh conclusions. So as long as you keep playing this game of interpretation, thinking that you're assimilating some reality or truth, you see, that game can continue, that intellectual paradigm of picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping. It's almost like the story of the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus is the one of the gods who's designated with the job to pick up a rock and to carry it to the top of the hill. And then at night, it's allowed to roll down the hill, and then next day it's supposed to do the job. But our game that we are playing with our heads. We pick up a version of reality, then we see it is not enough, we throw it, it starts poking us, we suffer, we throw it, and we pick up a fresh one because we feel too naked, too empty. You see, so we feel like I need a new idea about what this is. You see? And then we like it comes with bells and whistles. All of this is da da da, dee dee dee, da. No? Nice. You hold it. And then something happened. Cha, 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 cha. Like, no, it's not da 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 di di di. See? It is la 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 li li li. No? Anyway, I know you laugh. You can laugh. But the thing is that this what sounds like nonsensical is less nonsensical than the nonsensical we put in our heads. Because all our versions of this is what it is. Now I figured it. This is what it is. See? And, I'm still getting poked. This is what it is. This is what it is. And we try to keep using the concept so that the suffering stops. You see, but just doesn't work, and may have seemed to provide some band-aid initially, but it loses its efficacy pretty soon, and then it just doesn't work. You see? Yeah. So we're crying about our boyfriend or girlfriend or something, and but because we've been in satsang, we just say, but I am consciousness itself, pure consciousness. But why do we have to leave? I'm conscious. So it causes more churning and more contradiction within you. Better that you just cry and say, just like that. But this kind of playing conceptually with this thing doesn't really help. You see? If it plays as a reminder, as a pointer, you say, I am conscious now. And then you don't just settle for it conceptually, you just look, ah, who's leaving who, or what is here. If it can be used in that way, but for that you don't need the encyclopedia of spiritual concepts. Just find one or two which really help and good pointers for you, and that is enough to do the cleanup job. But just working with interpretations and conceptual ideas. So what happens is we our notions can change. So in one this can be like oh, this is just a hand. You see? Then you become spiritual. Oh, he's blessing us. Huh? Then he's telling us to stop. If you're very zen, stop. Right? You see? So, and it can feel like we are progressing in our notion, but it's as much nonsense as the first one. You see? If not worse, actually. And this may be tough medicine to swallow, but it's like okay. It's just that our ideas about what something is doesn't doesn't make any difference to life in reality. Only that it can seem like the experience of living seems to be much more full of suffering. But in reality, it is nothing. But don't fall for the mind trick, which will now propose to you that, hey, what this means is everything is meaningless. I never said that. You see, I'm only saying that the meaning is too big for your mind to swallow. Too broad. God or truth is too broad for us to understand. Even the nature of the play of the mind is too much for the mind to understand. That's why all these um, form of understanding the mind are not fully sorted, not fully resolved. So, so like this. But if you just heard from all that rambling, if you just heard one thing, which is the uninterpreted is more truthful than your highest interpretation of anything at all, then that much rambling was good.
And your story about spiritual stroboscope was very helpful,
Yes, yes,
helpful
yes.
for
That's
me.
it. Same. With our spiritual knowledge, we just are oppressing ourselves. So, because we have so many more troubles than regular people once you become spiritual. Because we think we understand so much and we try to be spiritual about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Adil. Sorry about that all-round rambling answer. But that's just how it played out. But you're welcome to come again. Yeah, always welcome. Yeah. Okay, now I don't know the order at which The hands were raised, but I feel Kumar, Adrian, Shubha, Peter. Yeah, that's a good start. Some more are also there. Okay. My answers are not getting better. How come I'm getting so many more questions? Okay, my dear. Okay.
Pranam Guruji. So good to be
Namaste.
here.
Thank you.
Uh, so I had a question that is it okay to have preferences, or is it the lack of unconditional love and acceptance? So I'm enjoying listening to your words and contemplating. I enjoy listening to the insights of how people's life transform. But if I go to my locality and there's someone with whom having a conversation is draining mentally and energetically,
Yeah.
so I'll tend to walk in the opposite direction to avoid that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So
I tend to
I'll
run also. It's fine. You heard what I said. No? I said I tend to run also sometimes. Sometimes it's okay. But but I won't label myself as having a preference for running. You see, because sometimes somebody could be saying something and I could see that some energy is being drained, but it's okay. I don't run. I don't know why I don't run. Sometimes, sometimes it could be enjoyable conversation also, but I could run. I don't know why I run. You see, so so allowing it to function in this open way without deciding whether okay, this is this circumstance, this is what's actually happening here, this is the stance that I should take about it. That seemed like too much work to me. You see, it's like it's like there are wheels on the bag, no? And it can be just carted with the wheels. And why do I have to carry it on the head? Some supreme intelligence is already taking care of all of this stuff. Then I don't need to decide what I have to do about it. Most of these things, the preferences are drafted post facto anyway. You could have run very naturally or walked away. Sorry, walked away very naturally, but the mind later will say, because this was happening, therefore it's good that you walked away. But is it okay? Is it a preference? Is it am I being egoic? Is it that kind of thing? But it's all post facto. It doesn't matter. It is just allowing life to play out as it is meant to play out without judging either life or yourself, which is the same thing actually, but without any judgment either way is this openness and emptiness that I'm talking about.
Yeah, another doubt I had also got answered. There was a young girl in my locality, and she had this repetitive thought patterns, thinking too much, and the doctor labeled her OCD, and now she's on pills. And many of my friends have all these labels of anxiety, panic, or OCD. So there's an urge in me to stop them from taking medicine, obviously with the guidance of the psychiatrist, and turn to exercise and listening to some satsang and that way. But then there's always a dilemma. Is that the right thing to do? Maybe they have some brain problems. So
We cannot really say, like I could not templatize and say I just have to rely on my intuition from moment to moment. In fact, at one time, now I don't know what the count is, we've not done any such poll, but most, like if you were to take the professions of the ones who were coming to satsang with me, the highest number was psychiatrists. You see, some of the dearest children I have in the sangha are psychiatrists actually, and they're helping in their own way, and they're trying to include. Sometimes they do tell me that they have some norms, so sometimes they just want to shake up somebody and say, "But who are you?" But their norms prevent them from doing that. You see, but in their own way, they're also trying to bring some openness into the situation. So I wouldn't be too prescriptive about it and say, no, no, it's all bad. Neither will I say, no, no, it's all good. You see? I just have to say that I don't know, just moment to moment, what emerges in my intuition. I have to operate based on that. So I've seen many whose lives have been saved by psychiatrists and psychologists, and they were in deeply suicidal states. And of course, many who feel like they were not helped by going to psychologists or psychiatrists. So nothing in life really, I found that if I was to put in words, I just have to say the same thing. I've not found anything in life where you can be so deterministic about it and say, this is how something is.
So it's
Even
all
that,
about dropping that doership and trying to plan and letting the natural intelligence intuit you what to say to the person.
yes, yes, yes. I would rely on that kind of position, uh, provisional position, rather than a very deterministic sort of position.
Thank you.
Very, very. Okay, what did I say? Who can come up? Huh? Adrian, Adrian.
Hi, Father. Namaste.
Hello. Namaste, my dear. Very good. Very good.
I'm not sure what I'm gonna say. I uh, Before putting my hand up, I was feeling this thing like that I wanted to check in with you about like this impulse or inertia to go to my mind or concept, and it seems like when that happens, it seems like the awareness gets forgotten or something. I don't seemingly hidden, and I wanted to expose this inertia, this habit. I guess it also takes time and constant inquiry and confirmation to like but as you say, it's always right now. This is the starting point. I should not um, think about the future.
Yeah, yeah. This is the this is a good example, no? So the truth is always right now. Even the end of conditioning actually is complete in the unborn in this moment. You see, because the conditioning cannot be a problem which remains unresolved in the unborn. Master Bankai didn't say, oh, all problems except conditioning are resolved in the unborn. You see, he said all things are perfectly resolved. And yet, you see, and this is where the intellect has trouble, because according to the intellect, it has to be either this way or that way. You see, and yet it is because of the momentum of this conditioning and how much habit we have to go back to this conditioning, whether we call it impulse, inertia, habit, it's all the same thing. That is why we have these meetings so often, no? Because the reminders, we just pointed again and again. We bathe in the energetic presence of satsang often, and where it seems a bit gentler, a bit easier to let go of the mind. And that sort of gets us used to living in that climate of openness, in that climate of emptiness. And that seems to take some time. So both are true. You're completely free right now, empty of all conditions, and also that the play of conditions usually seems to take some time to settle. Is it?
Yeah.
So what your job is to remember the greatest gift that you can give yourself is that one moment of emptiness, one moment of openness, and not be concerned about the outcomes. My job, in a way, as a master, is to make sure that you're progressing well over time. You see, so leave the time element to me. You focus on the on my pointings now. Now, yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
very good, very good. You want to share something more?
Yeah, I wanted to expose this thing about this been happening for a long time, like for years,
Yeah.
like the anxiety that I have, especially in the morning when I get up. Uh, I I feel like it's also connected to this future thing, this time thing, this the first three balls, But I just wanted to expose it because it's been pretty heavy, and I also took medications for it, and uh, yeah,
Very good. Very good. Thank you for sharing, my dear. And yes, yes. Anxiety is about the future, and the future is the notion on which the thoughts, the anxious thoughts, they rely. And you can just, like I keep saying, just notice and don't get involved in any other way that it has to stop or try to push it away. You're not doing that anyway. I'm aware of that. And you're doing well. You're doing well. It's good.
One of the reasons that I stopped taking my medication for anxiety is that I wanted to face it. I wanted to let it come and not judge it like it has to go away, you know. And because the psychiatrist that I went to, she was insisting to take these pills, you know. To, I felt like it was presented like it's a problem.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as you say, we cannot be deterministic. Maybe for some people it's
Yeah.
helpful.
Exactly. You just have to follow your heart, you see. Just have to follow your heart. Because many times, your case, of course, I'm completely comfortable about it. But in many cases, it can happen that there can be a sort of spiritual arrogance which says, no, no, but come on, with my insights, why do I need medication? You see, it can be like that. And who can actually determine what it is? You see, only you in that moment, in your heart, can determine what the smell of that is. You see, whether it is egotistical or it is purely heartfelt. That is impossible for someone to say. It will be pure speculation. You see, so this is very good. Keep following your heart in this way, and you're doing very, very well. Very well.
One more thing I wanted to share for a long time is about my mother.
Yes.
She passed away 4 years ago, and I many times I feel like guilt and like yeah, guilt about the fact that maybe I'm sure that I didn't appreciate her fully, you know, and maybe wasn't open enough to her while she was alive. And sometimes I would get angry, and you know, and I'm I'm sorry for all these things. I just hope that she can forgive me for these things.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure her heart is clear about this. Both of you have been so loving to her and beautiful. I remember her passing also, and um, it was beautiful. Your hearts were very beautiful about this, and I only sensed pure love from all three of you. Was pure love. Um, all my love, all my blessings, my dear. Thank you.
Do you remember when we met in Monte Sahaja? This was
Yes, yes,
the time I met. Yeah,
yes, of course I do. Yes.
so nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All my love, my dear. Okay, I've forgotten the order, but let's go to Peter.
Can you hear me?
Yes, my dear.
Yeah. Um, Thank you for being here today.
Mm. So much love, so much love.
I just felt like I needed to say, yeah, I don't acknowledge how much I've come to these meetings in so many forms with pride and arrogance. And like, I know what needs to happen. I know who I need to be and how I need to be here for it to go the way it needs to go. And I truly recognize I don't know what needs to happen here today any more than I ever have. But definitely this day I recognize I don't know what's supposed to take place here today. And just, I am here how I am here. And yeah.
This is very good. Very
Mm.
good. Wonderful. Touches my heart deeply. Touches my heart deeply. It's so beautiful. And to come to this meeting empty is to come full of love. Mhm. Is, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear this. Because what happens is when you come like this, you're not here just to confirm what you think you already know.
Mm-hmm.
It is that is when fresh sunlight comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, usually what happens, and most naturally in most meetings, is that most of the listeners start to pay most attention when it is confirming what they think they already know, and least
Mm-hmm.
attention when it is countering their beliefs. You see,
Mm-hmm.
that is why the cleanup job sometimes seems to take so long, because
Mm-hmm.
of and that is just pride. You see, it doesn't seem like pride. It seems like a natural way to
Mm-hmm.
understand. But it is very beautiful that you spotted this, and this is very helpful, very helpful. And they used to say, I used to be a little bit in a Course in Miracles community, and in a Course in Miracles, they always used to say, if you spot it, you got it. You see?
Mm-hmm.
But I've changed that a bit, and I say, if you spot it, you're dropping it. You see?
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to spot it means it is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise, with these conditions, with this arrogance, with this pride, it is like a
Mm-hmm.
blind. You see? It's a blind spot that
Yeah.
we don't recognize. But it's beautiful coming to hear you speak like this, because you see, all the subtle positions of spiritual knowledge, spiritual experiences, all of these are now being spotted and are being let go of. So it is very, very, very good, very good, very good. All my blessings, all my love for this. May this seeing take away every condition, every pride, every arrogance.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
The thing I really failed to recognize is this like something's wanted to be here to remain, to have gotten it, like to, yeah, something wants to remain as the getter, the one that can now go and show the world. And I see that it's not possible. It's not possible, not possible. This being there in the space for anything useful to come, this has to be completely removed. Like it's a total obstacle. Like to be in service to truth is to disappear. And it's the only, as I see it, it's the only place that I will find the peace and the contribution and the love that I seek. I see it's not possible if I stay here, if I remain as a one to do it.
Yeah.
It's I can't do it. I see this. It's that one that's been seeking and trying and knows so much. No, It's just pride. It's just you know, memories, and it's just yeah, and yeah, how to truly disappear and be used by truth.
Yeah. Very good. Music to my ears. Music to my ears touches my heart, and beautiful, beautiful noticing. And just even the holiest of ideas, even the ideas, you can surrender. You can surrender them. No, no intention, no tactics.
Yeah.
And truth can do with this body mind whatever it wants. Not, it is not something that we can decide in any conceptual way anyway. So good, so good, so good. May the Sadguru keep blessing you in this way. Very good. I'm happy to hear. Anytime you want to come up and share, I'm happy to hear.
Thank you. Thank you.
All my love, all my blessings. Yes, Acha. That's good news. Okay, thank you. Thank you, my love. Very good. Yeah. Get to wherever you're getting to safely, yes? All my love. Okay. Shubha.
Namaste, Father.
Okay. Yeah. So good.
I just wanted to expose the.
What I'm going to do is I'll mute because there's an echo coming. And after you finish, then I'll unmute myself. Yes.
I see uh, maybe it's called ego, or the need to be recognized, need to be appreciated, and it's been there. It's been there for a long time, and all my life, I guess. And I don't know. It's ego, or yeah, and that seems to be coming very, very strongly of late. And I mean, in normal life, you don't get an opportunity to expose this, because everywhere you're putting your best foot forward and, doing stuff to get appreciation and not, So I just wanted to expose this and put it at your feet, and your advice, any advice for this? What do I do?
It's very good. It feels like this is the theme of the satsang today in some sense. So just to prod this a little more, poke this a little more, if you could have one version of Shubha that the whole world could know, what is that version? What should we know about you? That you're so good at what?
No, I don't want anybody to know anything about Shubha, because I see that there's no Shubha there.
Yeah.
there's no Shubha, and still where does this come from? And because it keeps playing and I keep seeing it come up, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to be recognized that you see that there is no Shubha?
No, no, actually yeah, I keep running away, kind of. I looks like I keep hiding and keep running away from recognition, but in that hiding, I think that ego gets hidden somewhere, and this need gets hidden somewhere. So I mean, that's why the
Yeah.
like this exposure also is becoming so difficult to put myself forward. But I thought that by that hiding, by trying to pull myself down and not show myself and not be recognized, I'm actually hiding that
Yeah.
need somewhere.
Yeah. So it is like the false humility version of arrogance. No?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's good. You again, I have to say that so beautiful for you to spot this, all of you today who have exposed, you see? Because when they are no longer in the blind spots, you see, there's a saying that sunlight is the best disinfectant. You see? So as all of this is coming into your own light, in the pure light of your being, all of these which have been hidden in crevices here and there, and we've actually thought that these kind of ideas are natural, a natural way to exist. You see, and this idea of humility, like false humility, why I call it false is just the representation is still of the false one. You see, who has to be humble and not take the spotlight, and but somewhere like there's a mild arrogance about how good we are and how you see, like how we don't clamor for attention. So all of this can be a bit like the flip side of the coin of arrogance, but arrogance all the same. And it's beautiful that in today's satsang you've all had these reports where you're spotting these conditions which can seem so natural to so much of humanity, can seem so natural, and now you're spotting them, and just like you spotted it, it is dropping. You see, just the light is on it. What does the sunlight have to do to disinfect? You see, nothing. It is just the presence of the light is the best disinfectant. You see, so don't create a position and don't add any more conceptual stuff to it. You see, don't add any more. Don't beat yourself up for sure. Don't say, "Oh, I'm afflicted with this bad version of this condition." None of that. Just something came to your attention because you noticed that this thought comes in. Just don't speak. It's better if you stay humble. And this kind of thought, which carries the representation of you as a body mind, gets believed in. And now you notice that this propensity to believe these kind of thoughts is there, and that's it. You see, that's it. So this is very good. This is
Thank
really
you. Thank you so much, Father.
good.
Thank you so much.
Good. Don't put yourself in any shape. Don't put life in any shape. Don't put the world in any shape. You see? Now that shape could be humble, humble, or arrogant, arrogant. It doesn't matter. All shapes are just shapes. You see? So I'm very happy. I'm very happy to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you, Father.
Love you too. Very good. Okay. So the ones I've spoken to, if you could put your hands down, that will help. Praharsh and then Om Shiva.
Come, you come.
Huh? I'm here already.
Okay, I
Ah,
want to meet someone.
what's your name, my love?
Shreya.
Say again.
Shreya.
Satya?
H-R-U-D-Y-A.
Her name is Hridya, heart, Hridya.
Hidya. Oh, beautiful name. The heart is
Well,
what I'm pointing to all the time.
it's a painting she just did. She wants to show that to everyone. Okay.
Oh, so good.
You have to talk a little slowly and loudly, okay? Okay,
Yeah.
that's me and her on a board, and she just drew it with a peacock on it.
Yeah, I drew with my hands because I don't have any brush.
Okay, cool. Enough. I
Very
just want
nice.
to,
Very
and
nice.
she has your approval because I mean she approves you because her teachers are not this good. My
I
teacher is better than her teacher because you didn't scold anybody so far.
Oh well. Oh, sweet. Such a joy
Thank
meeting you. Such a joy seeing you as well. I see that you're cultivating a mustache
Yeah,
now. Acha,
thanks.
looks good. Looks good. All my love to both of you. Oh, my dear.
Okay, say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet. Thank Okay. Om Shiva.
Namaskar, Gurudev.
Ah, namaste, my dear.
Namaskar, Gurudev. Thank you so much for everything.
Your head looks fully recovered and
Guruji,
full of light and shining now. Huh?
yes, yes. Guruji, you are giving this blessing. Yesterday, my birthday, and before yesterday, all stitches are removed in my knee, on my head. I am so grateful. I feel your so much grace on me.
Very good. Very good. It was your
Thank you
birthday
so
yesterday?
much. Yeah, yesterday,
Acha, acha, acha.
14 months.
All my love, all my blessings to you, my dear. Yes.
I feel your so much grace, and something I remind on my mind every time, every moment. When I was, especially I was angry, like sometimes mind goes some other way, some family
Yes.
problem. They want to tell me, no, no, do that, do this, like this, and
Yes.
I just remind some thoughts, some lines in a Shiv Chalisa. They call Sirjan Supalan Le Leela Hit, जो विद हर हर रूप बनावे, शिव है एक वचित्र अनेक सुवेश बना के लीला. So I am specially saying Shiva in your face all the time, and I feel so much grace about you. Also, this is a truth. Har Har Mahadev. So I feel you are my Mahadev. You giving me all blessings, my Guruji. Guru is the God.
It is to.
I'm so sorry. I again want to think something. I
Yes,
always have some few lines.
we love to hear it.
Uh,
I just wanted to say something before
Thank you.
you, which is that that same Guru presence, that same Guru Tattva, that same godliness uh, is what I discovered with my father's blessings, with Guruji's blessings, that this same that you're experiencing is what this head is forever bowed down to. And thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that
Thank
holy
you so
presence.
much, Guruji.
Please sing on.
महादेवा जी महादेवा, देवाओं के देवा, शिव मेरे महादेवा. महादेवा जी महादेवा, देवाओं के देवा, शिव मेरे महादेवा. महादेवा जी महादेवा. ओम नमो पार्वती पते, हर हर महादेवा. महादेवा जी महादेवा,
जटा में गंगाधारी शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। माथे में चंद्रमा विराजे शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। गल सांपों की है माला शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। गल मुंडन की है माला शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। गल रुद्राक्ष की भी माला शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। डम डम डमरू बजता शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। हाथ में त्रिशूल साजे शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। कर नंदी की है सवारी शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। ऊपर कैलाशा दे रहंदे शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। देवाओं के देवा शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। चंद्र ते सूरज बनाए शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। त्रिलोकी है सजाए शिव मेरे महादेवा, महादेवा जी महादेवा। देवाओं के देवा शिव मेरे महादेवा। जय देवा श्री गुरुदेवा, जय देवा श्री गुरुदेवा। सारी उम्र करा मैं तेरी सेवा, ओ शंकर मेरे भोले पालिया। कैलाश विच रहन वालिया भोलिया, ओ शंकर मेरे भोले पालिया। कैलाश विच रहन वालिया। Thank you so much, Gurudev. Thank you so much. This song for you, for me, Mahadev is you.
So sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank you so much.
you. Very good, very good.
I need your blessing always, Gurudev. I always remember you, deep conscious, properly meditate on you. I just need that in my life.
Always there with you. Always there with you. Okay, I can hear my voice is fading a bit. So we have Ladia.
Guruji,
Oh, my dear.
I still cannot see you. I see Om Shiva prints.
If I speak a bit more, it'll come on.
Yeah,
the screen.
yeah. I don't feel right now any significant, right now at this moment, anything significant to say anything right now. No. No. No.
Was there something earlier when you raised your hand? You can share that also.
It felt like, I don't know why, but maybe a little fear to come up today. I don't know why it would be here, but I kind of felt it just like, no, you're good, it's fine. And this thing.
I like that imitation. Yes. Good, you came up then. Good,
Thank you.
Very good. Are you still translating a bit for your brother, or?
Not right now. He's not here right now, but he's not.
What language do you speak?
Czech. Check,
Yeah,
I speak. Yeah, check.
thank you for helping your brother as well. It touches my heart, whenever somebody's just doing this out of the love in their hearts. It's very beautiful.
What is still with me is a little bit the exercise we began with.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's like, I don't know if it's just a thought, but even though it's obvious that everything is coming and going, and I cannot be what is coming and going, it's like
Yes.
I cannot swallow this.
Okay.
It's
This is easy actually, easier than you may think, because you don't have to believe it. You don't even have to be convinced by it. You see, you don't have to. It doesn't matter what your mental position is about it. You see, so allow it to be. Like it'll push this button. That do you really know everything is coming and going? Can I really say? Forget it. Don't know. It's fine. You see?
It's more like, even though there are no thoughts, basically doing satsang mostly.
Yeah.
And throughout the day, it happened gradually that still there are less thoughts coming, and then they just suddenly starts. Sometimes when they're even like doing satsang, no thoughts, and there are just sensations seen, it's like, it feels like it's not resolved. It's like, yeah, this is probably the most true I can say, that even no thoughts are here, I can see these sensations only appearing in front of me.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't get it, but not on mental level, that I don't get it on mental level, but it's like, okay.
Where else can you not get it?
Once again, please.
Where else could you not get it?
Yeah, it's just a thought. Yeah.
You can just laugh at these thoughts. It's.
I usually do. Like sometimes. Yeah.
It's okay. What does anything mean?
It's like, it doesn't mean anything, but I must say, like, when when there are thoughts, I kind of like, okay, no thoughts, okay, empty, space. Thoughts coming, okay, seeing, oh, this is not true. Oh, space, I can relax. It's this is kind of happening here.
What does that mean? I can be this direct with you, no? I can be this direct with you because I feel like you had good insight. Now we can speak directly. So the mind will propose that there are times open, empty, of course, without this commentary, but yeah. So like that, and then thought like that, you see, and the mind may propose an idea of oscillation, not done, not fully settled, not enough, all of this, you see? But the mind doesn't know.
It's like when the thoughts are here, it feels like sometimes the work has to be done to be emptiness, to see clearly that they are unreal. Yeah.
Yes, but the work cannot be thought about, isn't it? Like the mental dilemma is very common, no, in satsang. That uh, does it take effort to come to the effortless place? And yes, at times it feels like it is effort. You see? And the guidance is clear, right from Bhagwanji, that as long as it feels like effort to remain empty, make the effort. But if you're going to think about making the effort or not making the effort, and whether you're being the doer about it or not the doer about it, and how much doership to pick up, and all of these things, then that is just adding to the mental stuff. You see, so either we do or we forget about it, but don't think about it.
Mhm.
You see? If it feels like a doing to remain empty, of course it's not a doing. Of course, it is effortless to not pick up. Most of you have told you enough examples about the conveyor belt and even the sushi. You see, where to not pick up, to just is effortless. But yes, at times it feels like it is effort to just stand like this or sit like this. You know? And during those times, make the effort. But if you're going to add the concept of effort and effortlessness onto the conveyor belt also, and you start picking up those, you see, then that is not helping. You with me in this? It can be a bit subtle because the mind is proposing to you that if you are truly free, then you would not need to make that effort. You see? But who's the protagonist of that story? Same guy.
Is it then like even important to be in this emptiness because or I don't know. I don't know.
It's fine to the absence of notions is the conceptual emptiness that I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You see? That's all I'm saying. Because the notions are not representing anything well.
Mhm.
So why would you hang around with that which is not well done?
Mhm.
To put very simply, you know,
Mhm.
if you can have better friends, why have terrible friends? Mhm. That's why I said that if the uninterpreted is a higher truth, why step down into interpretation? Don't get caught up in any conceptual version of emptiness. You see? And any conceptual version of anything. If there is an emptiness that you understand, throw it away. And especially if you have a plan to be in it, throw it away. Just throw everything away. What you cannot throw, we live with that. Sometimes what happens is like it can become an idea. You know, I have to be in the emptiness, or it's okay not to be in the emptiness. You see? Throw both those positions away. The one that is the aspect of your being that is having trouble with this, don't worry about that aspect of your being. What about the rest of you? How is that doing?
The aspect like the identity, it's not here right now, and if it is, I know it's not real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good. So that aspect which can have like a conclusion about anything, just leave that aside. And what about the rest of you?
I'm happy.
That's it. Can it be that simple? My driver, he has this unique problem. If it gets late at night, then he has to stay back here because on the way home, there's an empty playground where it's full of dogs at night and nobody can pass. You know, they're just ferocious, sort of. So, so how can he be happy? Don't go to that playground.
But it seems the playground comes to me. It's not that I choose. It comes to me.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, yeah.
You hear the woof.
Then it
Woof.
gets messy.
It can't really come to you, but you hear the woof woof woof. Woof. Yeah. I have to deal with these dogs, man. No, you don't. I'm suggesting a great escapism. No father has ever told their kids. Just you hear the dog, you run. I'm just messing around a bit, but it's not too far from what, not too far from what I'm saying.
It's like I know that one sangha of Sister X told us that sometimes then there happens like a plan of letting go. Okay, I'm gonna just don't serve these thoughts any tea. Just let them pass and go. And this also somehow gets me involved in this.
Yes. Yes.
Just don't any tea.
Yes. You have an infection of the checker guy, which will use
Probably.
everything that it hears in satsang and say, but this is like this and this is like that and like this. Just forget it.
I wanted to say forget what, but
then the checker guy will say, are you really forgetting about it? Are you just saying it? Or really?
Thank you.
No resolution, no conclusion, nothing. There's one playground where all the dogs are barking. You focus on the rest of your being. That's it. And be careful of the spiritual dog. Yeah.
Spiritual dog. Yeah.
It can have a very holy sounding bark, but it bites really badly. Yeah. You remember last time I was saying that don't try to understand that which you would not bother explaining to your squirrel.
Yes, I remember.
Even now your mind could be going, but this is not my problem actually. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have these problems.
Yeah, sometimes it can. Yeah. It's like
these are just all the problems there are. So if there is a problem, it has to be this one. There is no other problem actually. You have to know something to suffer. If you don't know anything, you're just happy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Light and easy. I feel like calling you to Bangalore.
I would very much like to come. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I feel like words and Zoom, of course, has done a good job, and you're maturing beautifully. But whenever things open up a bit, it'll be nice to come to Bangalore a bit.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Radhaji is still here? Does she want to sing? Or no? Let's see. Maybe fast asleep.
Yeah, Father.
Hello. What are the energy
No.
levels like?
I don't know actually.
Let's try if you want.
Okay, I'll try. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Advaitamananda Rupam Arupam Advaitamananda Rupam Arupam Brahmoham Brahmoham Brahma Swarupoham Chidoham Chidoham Sachidanandoham Shivoham Shivoham Shiva Swarupoham
Very good, very good. What is to be done now after Radha singing that one? Ah, chalo. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Guru Kripa Kevalam. Love you all so much. Love you.